your understanding?
Through the chair, I think what you're alluding to is the federal, the grant by which we receive federal money, ESEA, that are stipulations in there that schools that assess, I believe it is 95% or less, their hope is that they assess 95% or more, but if they assess 95% or less, that there is the possibility of potential sanctions.
And what are those potential sanctions?
Potentially, through the chair, there could be a loss of funding through your Title I funding, which is part of the ESEA umbrella.
And Mr. Chair, if I could, and I don't know exactly how this works, but would that be a loss of funding? Let's just pick a school, Muldoon Elementary in my district. Let's say 5% of the parents said, we want to opt out of this, we don't want to send our kids for these tests. And would the funding be lost for that particular school, or would it be lost for the district, or would it be lost statewide?
Through the chair, a very good question. To our knowledge, it hasn't been tested. We're not sure if it's been tested anywhere yet, so we really can't answer that question.
If I could, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and we'll have some other folk. I think we have someone. Just let me know when you're
okay.
done. And
I'll make this my last one, and then you can move on, and then I may have some more afterwards. How much federal funding does the state receive for education? Do you know?
Through the chair, that varies on who you talk to and what type of programs you're looking at. It varies anywhere from $60-some million to $180 to $220 million if you're including food, transportation, nutrition. The $60 million range is really focused on your title grants, your instructional grants. Through the chair.
Okay. And just last one, Mr. Chair. So is it possible that we could be losing between $60 and $200 million if enough parents opted their children out of these performance evaluations?
Through the chair, I have periodically heard throughout the last decade or 15 years with the advent of No Child Left Behind that potentially a state could lose everything. But through the chair, again, it's never been tested. Many authorities believe that that's not the case. And I'll just add one last. This recent change or iteration of ESEA under U.S. Department of Education Secretary Duncan was a unilateral change without Congress, so there's question right now whether what we're operating under is actually constitutional. So there's so many questions in this area that it's never been answered, never been tried.
I believe I thought I saw somebody from the Department of Education walk in the room. Raise your hand if you're here. Senator Dunleavy, maybe so we can allow the witness. Can you maybe join us at Senator McGuire's seat?
Sit there.
Or wherever. Just good behavior from both of you.
I doubt that.
Good morning. Susan McCauley, Director of Teaching and Learning Support for the Department of Education.
And your ears were probably buzzing from you heard some questions. Or
I did, and I'll be happy to address a couple of those. With regard to funding potentially at jeopardy in the circumstances where there is a state law that permits students to opt out of both federally and state mandated assessments, there is a potential loss of funding affiliated with title programs, not just Title I. But Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title V. And those have to do with programs that the stated purpose of which in the Elementary Secondary Education Act is that all children have fair, equal, and significant opportunity to obtain a high-quality education and reach at a minimum proficiency on challenging state academic achievement standards and state academic assessment. So when that is the stated purpose in the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and there is enough students opt out of an assessment that it falls below what is typically considered the threshold that's required for state participation, which is 95%, the U.S. Department's concern is that that may mask underperformance of students, therefore not meeting the stated purpose of those title funds. The total funding for those programs is $96,758,000.
Any other questions for Ms. McCauley? Senator Willikowski?
Thank you.